Matchday 3 in Bundesliga.2 continues this Sunday afternoon here at the Eintracht Stadion, bathed in summer sunlight, as the hosts Eintracht Braunschweig come up against Schalke for the second time in 10 days. They suffered defeats in the cup, 3-1 it ended. Now they are looking for revenge, looking for their first points on the board this season, starting the weekend down in 17th place in the table. Schalke in their dark blue, playing from left to right in this first 45 minutes. Traditional yellow and blue, easy to pick out. Braunschweig playing in the opposite direction. Early touch for keeper Marius Müller. Still in goal, getting the nod ahead of Ralf Fährmann, who is back from injury, gets placed on the bench today. Müller not entirely convincing so far this season. He's led in quite a few goals, especially on match day 1, when he conceded 5. We are in the opening weeks of the campaign. Lots of changes have been made by many of the teams up and down the table. A whole host of new faces need some time to bed in. And Marius Müller certainly is one of those new arrival from Luzern in the summer transfer window. Free kick here for Schalke. Here comes confirmation of the Braunschweig starting 11. Just a single change made to the 11 that started in the cup. With the introduction of Robert Ivanov, who starts in the heart of defence for his debut for the club. He arrived from Polish outfit Warta Posen in the summer. And Sebastian Griesbeck, who makes way. Apart from that, it's as you were for Braunschweig. 3 changes for Schalke. Brian Lasmer coming in. Nicholas Tauer, another man who makes his debut. He starts at right back for Schalke today. And Thomas Uvian gets the opportunity to show what he can do from the left back position. There is Nicholas Tauer. Have to watch on as this free kick is taken without him. Swung in nicely, and there it is. It doesn't take long, but the flag seems to have come up on this side. Indeed it has, as Kenan Karaman clearly isn't in agreement with that decision. I'm sure this one will be looked at again. Well, he's clearly ahead there. It's a good call. Early scare for Braunschweig, as now Nicholas Tauer can rejoin the action. It's on loan from Mainz until next summer. Seguin, rewarded for his performance in the cup. He scored the second to put Schalke ahead for the first time in the game. Absolute stunner as he hammered it home to make it 2-1. His reward to start today is it's a handy attempt from Anthony Huja to try and find a far post. Play could have been brought back there by the accidental collision. Instead, referee Dankert happy to play on, as we see from that angle. Uja's shot just a yard or two wide. It's absolutely crucial that Uja starts scoring for Braunschweig and continues scoring. He gets a goal on average every 3 games in Bundesliga.2. He scored 10 in 30 league games last season, his debut season at the club. There does seem to be a cut to the cheek here of Nicholas Tower, very much in the wars. In the opening exchanges in here you can see where it happened. As the studs come up, as Robin Kraus went to ground, totally unintentional. And this really is quite a brutal introduction to the start of his career at Schalke. Actually arrived in the January transfer window from Mainz on loan. Tony made the bench 6 times in the second half of last season. Now he finally gets a chance to show what he can do, and he's already been forced off the pitch twice in the opening 6 minutes. I hope for his sake he's got a big bit of cotton wool stuffed inside his cheek, and that's not swelling where he got caught by Robin Krause. Thomas Reis, Schalke coach, down in his technical area, barking out the orders. Understandably wary when Braunschweig have set pieces. Schalke have no problem with firepower this season. They've got tremendous talents up front. Of course, we haven't even spoken about Simon Terodde yet, the captain, who is an absolute dream to have in your side in Bundesliga.2. Defensively, it hasn't been plain sailing for Schalke. I already mentioned on match day 1 that the relegated side conceded 5 to Hamburg. And followed it up with a clean sheet against Kaiserslautern. It's clear they will need to shore things up at some point. But that one is fired over, takes a deflection on its way, and Braunschweig are reacting tremendously well after the offside goal from Karaman. Perfect timing in the build-up. No distance on the clearing header, and in the end, well, that's far too much time and space afforded to Anthony Uja. First corner of the match for Braunschweig. Reis hasn't ruled out bringing in further reinforcements, particularly in defence, before the summer transfer window closes, or slams shut, as the tabloids like to say. Another free kick here for Braunschweig, won by Anton Donko. Hertel doesn't quite have the budget that Thomas Reis has to play with. I'm not suggesting that Schalke are rolling in funds either. Of course, the two clubs have very different objectives this season. Braunschweig looking to finish in a more comfortable position than they did last time out. Really did go all of the way to the wire as they finished up 15th in the table, 2 points ahead of Bielefeld in the relegation playoff place. 8 players in for Braunschweig this summer, all on free transfers. A few of them getting a chance to stretch their legs today and prove that they've got what it takes to contribute to the cause. This is Lino Tempelmann. Simon Terodde with a poor first touch. There is one of the new faces, Johan Gómez for Braunschweig, up against another new man in the colours of Schalke, Ron Schallenberg, who captained Paderborn terrifically well up until the summer. He'd been there since 2015, was even born in Paderborn. You won't find many players this season who cover more ground than Schalke's new number 6. Another free kick for Braunschweig. Bit of a niggly opening to this match. That's a nice, good early ball in, and a fine save to push it behind for a corner. Marius Müller called into action once again. It's Fabio Kaufmann. Hands up today in support of Anthony Uja, who pulls the trigger. Schalke seeing very little of the ball at the moment. Another set piece here for Braunschweig to test the visitors' defence. Not a great punch from Müller. And again, Schalke's defence labouring to get the ball clear. Poor effort in the end from Braunschweig captain Yannis Nicolaou. Plenty of positives for Jens Hertel in the opening 13 minutes here. And surely be happier to see Marius Müller, though, tested a little bit more. This is Tempelmann. Tower and get a cross in here. And Schalke probing. Shot on the turn from Simon Terodde, who stays down screaming, suggesting that he was fouled just inside the area. But it's shot away cleanly enough. Wondering where the problem is. Referee Dankert absolutely clear on his decision. Let's have another look. Was there just a little clip of the heels there as Simon Terodde wound back to take his shot? I think that's what he's complaining about. If there was a touch, Braunschweig could be in trouble here. I'm sure it's being looked at. Very difficult to spot from open play, even difficult to spot from the first couple of replays. It seems we are fine to carry on. Wound on Nicholas Tauer's cheek really does look something awful. And credit to him. We're just getting on with the task in hand. Schalke clear their lines once again. Once more on the back foot. Good claim by Marius Müller. Minutes have been played in this first half. Matchday 3 action from Bundesliga.2, and Braunschweig, despite being the underdogs coming into this encounter, certainly having far better of the exchanges, really probing and causing the Schalke backline more than enough problems to satisfy the home fans who are out here in the sun enjoying themselves. Entirely unlikely that the Braunschweig faithful will have looked at their fixtures ahead of this season kicking off. Thought that Schalke would be a game they could get points out of. 1-0 home loss against Kiel, followed by a 2-1 away loss at the hands of Magdeburg. And if they can keep this up, they really are going to test one of the favourites for the championship this season. Plenty of energy, plenty of determination, clearly in the ranks of Braunschweig. This kind of noise behind them, you can understand why they are so eager to perform. Important though for the hosts to make the most of their chances. It's unlikely that they're going to be able to keep Schalke on the back foot for the full 90 minutes. It will be exhausting, the amount of energy they are putting into this game, especially given the temperature out there. Donko with the throw. Knocks on by Uja. Almost completely aimless ball forward by Schalke. Nice one in behind here. Good save by Ron Torben Hoffmann. He's hadn't had a great deal to do so far in this match. Lovely ball through by Lasma to Seguin. Decides to go for power, drilling it into the 6-yard area. Templeman. Back out to Tower. Templeman again, keeping the back line busy, and that one struck against the frame of the goal by Brian Lasma. Well, a ferocious hit by the Frenchman. Really did connect well. Did Hoffmann have his near post covered? Tricky to see from that angle. I think that one would have flown past him had it been even a couple of inches to the left. Schalke starting to finally find their feet in this match. Almost 20 minutes in. Here they come again. distribution from Hoffmann. Another chance for Braunschweig. They take it this time. And it's Fabio Kaufmann who wheels away in celebration. On top for the opening 10-15 minutes or so. A sign of life from Schalke. Striking the post through Brian Lasma. But Kaufmann responds perfectly. And Braunschweig have the lead. How disappointing that is from the right-back Nicholas Tower. It's been a rough start to the game from him. And Schalke's defence caught looking very light indeed. A composed finish for the 30-year-old. He's off the mark this season. He played every game last season, starting 2/3 of them. Netted just 3 times. And now he is up and running this time around. Braunschweig rewarded for their positive, aggressive, combative start to this game. Schalke have conceded again first against Braunschweig, just like they did in the cup. Really a chance that came out of nowhere as Schalke create their own downfall. The guests in a familiar position at the Eintracht Stadion, trailing by an early goal. Lots of space there for Uja to come and collect. Confident possession play here for Braunschweig. Something they weren't able to do in the first 2 matches. But they are using it to their advantage here. Uja with a bit of an awkward first touch. The chance hasn't gone yet. Still in the area. And a slight touch on its way through. Almost creeps in at the far post. Braunschweig eager to double their lead. Still, the Schalke defence does not look settled. As the drinks break has been announced by referee Dankert. A moment for the Schalke players to regroup perhaps. Completely under pressure. In danger of conceding a second in this opening 45 minutes. Jens Hertel much more satisfied with his team performance now. They've got themselves ahead. They created the opening chances. They looked dangerous. And Schalke were there to be had. But Marius Müller wasn't tested enough. And this, the chance out of nowhere, catching even me by surprise. How sweet is that finish from Fabio Kaufmann? He's not a man who scores week after week. But he does it with such composure there. Looks like a seasoned finisher. Doesn't matter who you support, they're certainly deserving of this advantage, Braunschweig. As I mentioned, the possession Braunschweig have enjoyed in this match so far. It's not something they're accustomed to. In the opening 2 matches of this campaign, they averaged the worst possession in the league, just 33% of the ball. You can see what they can do when they do have the ball at their feet. And as it stands in this match, they've had about half of the ball, and they've been very, very efficient with it. Brilliant tackle. The crowd almost as loud celebrating that tackle as they were in celebrating the goal. Absolutely everything going Braunschweig's way at the moment. Easy decision for the referee to make. Timo Baumgartler, new signing from PSV this summer. Wrestling Anthony Uja to the ground. Kaminsky. And he's on Bundesliga.2. Back in his time at Stuttgart. On the other back line, Robert Ivanov has formed very comfortably so far on his debut. Missed the first 2 match days after joining the club through injury, and was on the bench in the cup defeat, but didn't get on. Now I'm sure he will be enjoying his first run out for the club. Direct approach here taken by Schalke. Brave goalkeeping from Hoffmann, but it pays off. Advantage played here by the referee. Now we have the interruption. It's Robin Krause. This is the one over the top from Schalke. Robin Torben using his head, quite literally. And it came through at RB Leipzig, and then the Bayern youth setup for arriving at Braunschweig in 2022. First choice keeper at the club this season, taking over from Jasmin Fezic, who retired in the summer after 250 appearances for Braunschweig. Captain's armband passing from Fezic on to Yanis Nicolaou in midfield. There he is, now with number 4 on his back. Has played every single minute in the league and cup so far. Missed just 4 games last season, 2 through injury and 2 through suspension. A man who certainly does like to get stuck in. Robin Krause is fortunately back on his feet, and that's a nice touch from Lino Tempelmann, who apologises. Wasn't anything sinister in his attempt to get the ball. It's a real shame, though, for Krause. Only got a late substitute appearance on match day 1. Didn't feature at all a week after. This man up against new signing Sebastian Griesbeck for a spot in defensive midfield. And hopefully there's no lasting damage after that collision with Tempelmann. Still waiting to be waved back onto the pitch. They could do with an extra man in midfield here, Braunschweig, as they concede a free kick here to Schalke. Fans not happy with the slight delay, and now they are back to a full 11, half an hour played. Schalke on the front foot. Plenty of space on this near side. Seguin. Now the vacant position being taken up by Tower. Not a bad cross, but Braunschweig have dealt well with the balls in the air into the area. Tower again. Forced back, as that's good pressing from the home team. Nicely combined on the edge of the area. Out comes the keeper, Hoffmann, but he's not punished. The ball skips wide. Jens Hertel on an emotional roller coaster in this first half. Heart in your mouth moment, as that one was beautifully dinked over the advancing keeper. Karaman certainly has the skills in his locker to get that one in. Just had his angles wrong. Got a goal and assist in the 3-0 win over Kaiserslautern on match day 2. He was the man who scored the equaliser in the cup game to make it 1-1 after Uge's opener. Right idea from Paul Seguin to put that one down the line and try and link up with Lasma. He had the space to charge into. The position of the Braunschweig midfield and defenders today has been spot on more times than not. And here they can tidy up. Schalke reluctant to put any pressure on keeper Hoffmann. Allows him to pick out his pass. We've certainly had our fair share of free kicks in this first half, but as I mentioned before, nothing sinister. Some accidental collisions, most notably the injury picked up by Nicholas Tower, caught in the face by Robin Klaus's trailing boot. Both of these sets of players clearly focusing on the football instead of each other. Just that one team is doing a far better job of it at the moment, but Schalke, again, starting to creep their way back into this game. Delivery just overcooked, no trouble for Hoffmann. Always likely to be a tough transition for a club that gets relegated after spending practically all of last season desperate to collect points, scrambling to survive, going as underdogs into each match. They're now expected to come in and dominate and just wipe their opponents away. First yellow card of the game is shown. Goes to the new man, Robert Ivanov. An interesting head-to-head between 6'4" Robert Ivanov and a 6'3" Simon Terodde. Everybody's keeping their eyes on the latter for getting the goals for Schalke this season. Nice work from Brian Lasma. Yes, again. Simon Terodde is on an absolutely brilliant goal-scoring streak in Bundesliga.2. Scoring in his first 2 games of this campaign and the last 7 games in Bundesliga.2 before the club got promoted. 9 matches, scoring in each of them. Only one player has bettered this in the history books. Christian Sakowitz in 1979 for Bielefeld. He went on a run of 11 games back-to-back, scoring in each. 2 goals and 2 assists already this season. And had taken just 3 shots in the league coming into this game. He is efficiency personified, but down the other end is Anthony Uja, who's getting far more chances. And that's a lovely strike. Brilliant chest control, and despite the attentions of the defender, gets a lovely volley away. In the end, though, not the most difficult save for Marius Müller to make. Anthony Uja looking more likely to add to his tally of 1 goal so far this season. And Simon Terodde is. Did the Nigerian forwarded to service. As I said, he's got to get off the mark this season. He did score, of course, earlier on this season. The 2-1 loss against Magdeburg. The only goal that Braunschweig had scored in this campaign coming into this match before the opener from Fabio Kaufmann. As we have got a change already in this first half, 38 minutes played, and it's Karaman down on one knee here. And that will be a big loss for Thomas Reis, the experienced wide man. So Kiro Kozuki is readying himself. Joined the club in 2022. Really has featured mostly for the reserves since arriving. Got an outing in the club friendly that Schalke played on Tuesday in the talk of the town, really, as Schalke played an internal friendly 2 times half an hour to get some match fitness into some of the players, and so give Thomas Reis a chance to keep an eye on some of the players. They played the game against their under-23 side and they lost 4 goals to 2. Of course, the scorer isn't of primary importance. Vincent Kozuki is able to putting in a good display, and now he's got a chance to show what he can do. Just over 5 minutes remaining of this first half, and most likely the rest of the second half. The 22-year-old is on. It looks like it's a simple switch on that far side. There he is getting his first touch. Kozuki replacing Karaman. Uja. Always working to find some space, always available to receive the ball. He may not be the man who's going to get you 20, 25 goals a season, But he works so tremendously hard. This is Donko. Away by the Schalke defence. Anywhere will do. Most cases for the Schalke backline. They really have had to be fully concentrated in this match. And their lapses in concentration have almost been exploited several times by Braunschweig. The one time, of course, making the difference. Fabio Kaufmann, still his goal, separating these two teams, coming in the 21st minute. Thomas Reis will feel the pressure. All the expectation for Schalke to bounce straight back up. Still, of course, a huge club in German football. Bundesliga.2 is never easy to get out of. Just look at their opponents from matchday 1, Hamburg, again looking to get themselves back to the big time. Players will, of course, feel that responsibility. That's how they deal with it. We will see over the course of this season. Kozuki not giving up. This is just his 6th senior app to date. He started the first 5 games of the second half, of last season. But suffered an ankle injury that kept him out for the rest of the campaign. Donko. Build-up play once again by Braunschweig. Gómez. Donko will tidy up. Johan Gómez, 22-year-old USA forward, a very exciting prospect as he gets another touch there. Play is allowed to continue here. Advantage awarded to Braunschweig. 4 players in the box, waiting for a cross, though it doesn't come. There's the goal scorer, taking a well-deserved break. This one's going to be launched into the area. Kaminski driving the ball upwards. The clock ticking towards the final 60 seconds of regular time. I'm sure we'll have a hefty lump of injury time added on at the end of this first half after the issues with Robin Krause and Niklas Tauer, and of course most recently Kenan Karaman. They really have stroked the ball around nicely at times today, Braunschweig. Their confidence is high. This lead could be snuffed out at any moment. Schalke do know how to score goals, remember. Scored 3 on matchday 1, 3 on matchday 2. Simon Torada leading the line. He has been kept quiet so far today. But he's averaged more than a goal every second game since joining Schalke. Netted 30 goals in 30 in the promotion season 21-22. As there we have the hefty 6 minutes added on at the end of this first half. Long gone are the days of just an extra 60 seconds. Stoppages will be compensated for. And games running into 100 minutes are now commonplace. Six minutes for Schalke to try and test and probe. 6 minutes for Braunschweig, who I would normally expect to see out and go into the dressing rooms with their 1-0 lead intact. But they have been pushing for a second. That's the positivity that Braunschweig have been showing this afternoon. Refreshing to see an underdog not just settling for their 1-0 lead, but really gunning for a second to make their advantage a little bit more comfortable, despite plenty more time still to be played in this encounter. Credit to the players out there in yellow and blue. The energy that they are investing in this match must be absolutely exhausting given the temperatures, but it has paid off so far. Without doubt, Jens Hertel will have to reach for substitutes at some stage, get some fresh legs out there if they are going to continue this high intensity approach. Again, Kleno Tempelmann involved in a little clash. It's a combative midfield for Schalke with Ron Schallenberg and Tempelmann, Carl Seguin as well. They haven't been able to really grab the midfield by the scruff of the neck and dictate play. That's where the credit goes to Braunschweig captain Jannis Nicolau, Robin Krause, with plenty of support coming from Marx and Donkor in the wide positions. Working very well as a unit today, Braunschweig. Uja. General direction of scorer Kaufmann. Ball forward by Schalke, not in the general direction of anyone other than Robert Ivanov. Nicolau with a dodgy pass, puts Marx on the back foot. We haven't seen a great deal of Thomas Uvian progressing down the left channel and causing problems. He was directly involved in 11 goals in his first season while on loan. Injuries prevented him from making more of an impact last season, though only 17 Bundesliga.2 games. Still 2 minutes of time added on to be played here. Schalke at times rushing their decision to get the ball forward and try and pick out Terodde, Lasma, and now Kutsuki. Just a little bit more patience on the ball. Wouldn't go amiss for the visitors. Braunschweig have also been eager to get the ball forward early. It's the likes of Gómez, Kaufmann and Uja seem to have done a better job of finding space, pulling away from Kaminski and Baumgartel. evading a shield normally provided by Ron Schallenberg in defensive midfield. As a unit, Braunschweig just operating a higher level than Schalke. Lovely knock-on from Gómez. Doncourt decides to unleash a strike. Why not, with just a few seconds remaining at the end of this first half? Certainly has been involved in proceedings. The left-sided wide man as the half-time whistle, finally is blown by referee Bastian Dankert. 6 minutes of time added on for various injuries and substitution, goal celebration and the lot. The second 45 minutes is up and running here at the Eintracht Stadion. Braunschweig leading by a 1-0 thanks to Fabio Kaufmann's cool strike in the 21st minute. They're good for their lead as well, Braunschweig. An absolutely excellent first 45 minutes, plus 6 minutes of time added on for a variety of injuries and interruptions. And Schalke playing catch-up, just like they did in the Cup 10 days ago. They trailed to Braunschweig, but ended up winning by 3-1 to progress in the knockout competition. Now in the league, they've got 45 minutes remaining to see if they can turn this one around as well. Defensively, they have to be more impressive in this second half. Otherwise, Braunschweig will continue to see a sight of Marius Müller's goal. Sooner or later, you feel they may well punish Schalke's defence again. Schalke now playing from right to left as they get an early ball into the centre. In towards the man who replaced Karaman in the first half. The wide man from Turkey, subbed off injured. That's poor contact though from the Japanese midfielder Kozuki. You may have seen in the lead up to this second half kicking off, or up in the graphics, that there have been 3 changes at the start of this second half by Schalke, as you would perhaps predict. More on that in just a second, as again they come forward here, Braunschweig. Only for referee Dankert to point for a goal kick. So Jens Hertel, no changes made by him so far, and why should he make any changes? Totally satisfied with his team's performance. Perhaps the only gripe he'll have is that they didn't score a second. There certainly were opportunities there. Antonuja with a fine volley in the second half. Not really testing Marius Müller, but full stretch. Here they come again. Kozuki wins the first corner of the second half for Schalke. So to the changes, Dominik Drexler is in. Paul Seguin hasn't come out for the second half. Hasan Udreogo, the 17-year-old midfielder, gets another chance to show what he can do. A wonderful talent. I'm sure we'll speak about him later on. And Henning Matriziani, he has been drafted in at right back to cover for Niklas Tauer. Not the best of first halves for him, after getting caught in the face by a stray stud on Robin Klaus's boot. And quite a miserable looking wound on his cheek. He's also partially to blame for the opening goal. Understandably, he's now getting a chance to tend to his wounds and reflect. Crucial now for Schalke to start positively in the second half, for the new men with the freshest legs to bed in quickly. Let's see if we're going to see a slightly more high-intensity pressing game from Schalke. glimpse there of referee Bastian Dankert. He hasn't had a great deal to do. He's got all of the calls right. The players really have focused on playing football today. No niggle between the two teams. Eintracht with a second bite of the cherry here. He's going to have to come up with something special to whip in across from that kind of angle. Instead, they'll settle for the corner. Forgive us, Kremlin in the system for a moment there. It's a little freeze. We are back up and running. So we have another stoppage here. Quick glimpse to the bench. One man just coming back from injury, and another man possibly facing a spell on the sidelines. Drop ball here. And the instruction, of course, to Eintracht Braunschweig to play it back. And the action can be resumed. Really was a bit of a nightmare season for Schalke last time out. Head coach Frank Kramer was sacked after match day 10 with Schalke in the bottom two. Thomas Reis took over in October. Just one win in the opening 10 games of the season, 6 of which were losses. It was always going to be a game of catch-up for them. On match day 7, Schalke went on a losing streak of 7 consecutive games, scoring just 4 goals in the process, leaving them rock bottom. They'd pick up in the second half of the season, going unbeaten in February and March. In the end, they finished tantalising 1 point behind Stuttgart in 16th relegation playoff place. They were the lowest scorers in the league by some distance. They had the second worst defence. As I mentioned in the first half, tricky to go from that position into one where you are expected to win week in, week out. But with a man like him leading the line, there's always a chance. Simon Torada scoops the ball up and carries it back to the centre circle. He may not have been involved much in this encounter, but he's always a threat. But he's offside. That one is surely going to be ruled out as he creeps in behind the defence just a fraction of a second too early. How bitterly disappointing this will be for the travelling fans. I think confirmation is making its way through here to Thomas Reis. Remember, on a scoring streak of 9 matches in a row. Oh, it's been given. Well, look at the celebrations here. Or perhaps it's premature celebrations, as referee Dankert says, no, just wait a minute. Simon Torada He's best advised to just keep himself cool for a moment as the wait continues. The man in charge, very patient, just waiting for the word in his ear. And just wait for the reaction from the crowd when the decision is announced. Well, it's a case of his shoulder just being ahead. No goal, offside. Absolutely the correct decision. A huge cheer rings around the Eintracht Stadion. But it is a warning. It is a warning for the home team, the home fans, and Jens Hertel, as if they needed it. That Schalke can do some damage. Now the score is reset. Braunschweig still ahead. Here they come again. Kudzuki. Well closed down. Excellent bit of defending. The defending as important as the attacking for Braunschweig. They've looked so very dangerous up front. They're looking equally impressive along the back line. Good debut performance from Robert Ivanov, the huge Finnish centre-back alongside Brian Behrens and Hassan Kuracay. They haven't really put a foot wrong this afternoon. This is a substitute. Draxler stands that one up nicely. The big frame of Lansma at the far post to targets. A bit of a wild quiet from Kudzuki. Conditions very physically demanding here for both sets of players. Barely an opportunity for either teams to just put their foot on the ball and slow things down. A little bit of a heat wave creeping across Europe at the moment. Players playing in the early afternoon stunt, taking any opportunity they can to cool down a touch. There will be another drinks break surely at the halfway stage of this second half. Players' well-being absolutely the priority in times like this, especially with the matches going on for significantly longer than they're used to, with every stoppage being compensated for, as we saw at the end of the first half. 6 minutes of time added on. Commonplace, as I mentioned earlier, the games to run into 100 minutes. Eintracht really did struggle to hit the ground running last season after promotion from the third tier the season before. Ended up finished second to seal automatic promotion. Did the campaign 15th. This, if they can hold on to it, will lead to their first points on the board this season, will kick-start their campaign. beat Schalke, one of the teams who were plying their trade in the top flight last season. Will have the confidence that they can beat anyone. An ultimate goal for Jens Hertel's side. Survival, of course. Shouldn't get ahead of themselves. A little bit more breathing space between themselves and teams really struggling at the foot of the table would be very welcome indeed. Schalke making heavy weather of getting their lines cleared. The free kick though. Lasma, who can be ranked among one of the few positives for Schalke in the first half, did pose a threat down that right channel. Now you can see he is lining up on the left. In fact, not even on the left, in a more advanced role alongside Simon Terodde instead of a single point of attack. Now Schalke have a couple more options, especially with Dominik Drexler providing a little bit of width. The big figure of Hassan Rodrigo, as I mentioned, just 17 years of age, the central midfielder. Much expected of the youngster on the under 17 Euros this summer with Germany. He's got his first goal in Hamburg's victory on match day 1. That was his debut for the club. Didn't get a chance to contribute towards the cup as he sat out as an unused sub. But he's involved in play here as again Schalke breach the Braunschweig defence. And again, Simon Terodde not entirely happy with the attention that he's receiving. Certainly is a little bit of tugging, a little bit of holding there by the new man, Robert Ivanov. Dominik Drexler and Simon Terodde likely be demanding that the referee refers this one to VAR, as Lasma continues to struggle here. And Jens Hertel is going to shuffle his back. Rittmüller comes on to replace Marks. Ryan Felipe, he is on in the place of goal scorer Fabio Kaufmann. And up goes the number 11 of Lasma. A chance for a 19-year-old left-sided midfielder Yusuf Kabadai to come on, loanee from Bayern until summer 2024. The final change made by Jens Hertel, confirmed as captain Giannis Nicolaou comes off, and on in his place defensive midfielder, for defensive midfielder, Danilo Wiebe. Another blow for Thomas Reis, Schalke's coach, as he loses his second wide man of the afternoon. Karaman off, injured. Now followed by Lasme. Now starting to establish a bit of a flow here, keeping Braunschweig pegged back in their own half. More hands to the pump here. That's a cool bit of defending, though, by the forward, Johan Gómez. Instead of just hacking it clear, he's able to get it moving forward. And here he is picking it up. But again, not the best of deliveries into the box, but a real sign of how confident Braunschweig have been performing in this match. Not scared of Schalke. Certainly showing enough respect. They're not scared of just wave after wave of attacks coming from their guests. Just having to boot it clear. That's why Braunschweig do remain a significant threat in this game. They are soaking up the pressure at the moment, but they will have opportunities to break. Advantage played here by the referee. And that is going to be a very nicely placed free kick for Schalke. Udreogo with very quick feet, making his way through the Braunschweig midfield and defensive line. Card is shown to Jan Berendt, second yellow card of the match. And 2 of Braunschweig's back 3 on a warning. Thomas Uyan looking like he's favourite to take this. He's got a sweet left foot. He scored on match day 1. And he doubled his tally here. First real opportunity for Schalke from a set piece in this game. Everyone back here for Braunschweig. Uyan. Oh, and he clips the top of the goal. For the second time this afternoon, Schalke find the frame. And Torben Hoffmann was well beaten. Sees it so late. And now the next interruption. A chance for the players to take on some fluids again in this match. It's been a little bit stop and start with the substitutions, the injuries. And that really is something that Braunschweig will not be entirely disappointed about. It's interrupting the flow that Schalke have been trying to establish since coming out of the dressing room for the second period of play. They've looked more positive. They've looked more of a threat. Braunschweig have been equal to what Schalke have thrown at them. And not only the players out there who have to contend with this heat. And Dankert doesn't get subbed off after an hour. A chance to rest. He's on the move constantly. And again, fine performance from him so far. He's kept the players in check. He's got the right calls completed. He's allowed the players to get on with things. Just a couple of bookings and absolutely fine with me, with Ivanov and Berdens having their names taken. From Uga. Not an easy one to take. And guide on target. And he's been quite as involved since the restart. "20 minutes left to play." Mentioned the table at the start of today's match. It's not all that significant considering this is just match day 3. But as it stands, Braunschweig will be up to 14th, level on points with Schalke, of course. Quick footwork from Abadai, not enough to get the better of Hassan Kuracay. He's yet to feature for Bayern's first team, the 19-year-old loanee. Would score 9 in 20 in the Bavarian Regional League last season. He certainly has talent. Could he be the man that comes up with something special this afternoon? Uvian getting more of an opportunity to advance forward in this second half. He really did get hacked back before the half-time whistle came. Very rarely ventured forwards as Braunschweig were calling the shots. But now they've got him in a position further forward. Now they've been able to keep Braunschweig pegged in. He's getting opportunities to cross. Of course, that does leave space available for Braunschweig. They failed to get it into the centre. Comes the next change. Johan Gómez will get to put his feet up for the rest of this afternoon. Good shift from the 22-year-old, and it's recognised by the home crowd. He looks absolutely exhausted. And Kalaskana comes on forward for a forward. He's signing from Regensburg this summer. And that makes it 4 late substitute appearances for the number 36. Coming on late in the cup as well as on match day 1 and 2. Müller feeling the heat. It's Marvin Müller is on corner duty here. Oh, it's a header, not challenged by the Schalke defence, but in the end harmlessly wide. Well, in the end it's a deflection off the back of Robert Ivanov, with Berdens in there as well. Referee happy for play to continue here, despite Braunschweig having a man down. In the end, it's safely into the hands of Ron Torben Hoffmann, who promptly gets the ball out of play. And back on his feet and moving freely. I've seen too many players going off injured today, so good to see that he's fine to carry on. Confirmation that the stadium sold out for this afternoon, with 21,800 fans showing up. Of course, that also means a fair chunk of travelling fans making the 3-hour train journey eastwards for the second time in such quick succession. How are they going to make the journey home less jubilant than they did after the cup game? 15 minutes remaining for Schalke to do something about this scoreline. They have performed better in the second half. Just hasn't been enough to do anything about the standing.
Here they come again. Braunschweig worked nicely into the box. There's no finish. Has remained much further back. He's had much more defensive responsibility as this game has progressed. They are now really set up to shut Schalke out as much as they can, leaving two men forward, Buja and Felipe. And it's the latter in possession here. Decides to go for goal alone. A fine strike from the 22-year-old. They scored for fun in the Luxembourg top flight last season, joining from Vespering in the summer transfer window. The big man who makes a big difference to Braunschweig this time around. Certainly, Anthony Uja will be happy to share out the goals. We won't want the expectation fully resting on his shoulders. And Felipe finishing the league's top scorer, helping his side win the Luxembourg top flight. Jens Hertel, Braunschweig coach, was asked about how it is to square up against the same club twice in a row. And he responded with the comment that there won't be a great number of surprises after their cup encounter. Came into this match knowing what to expect. In that way, I've got to say well done, Jens Hertel, and to the team for coming into this match with the right attitude and the tools to unlock Schalke. It's not over yet. They are still looking strong and enjoying some more chances here. They've got 4 against 2, and the chance is still open. Good save from Marius Müller. I don't think it would have counted though. I think the flag has gone up. Again, Felipe, the outlet. Saying that it is a bit of an advantage that you can just analyse that last game instead of having to look at the last 3 games, for example, played by the opponents against 3 other random teams. Not by any stretch suggesting that Thomas Reis failed to do that. It's just Braunschweig came out and got their goal. They came out positively and took advantage of Schalke's hesitant start to this encounter. We've been on top pretty much since then. It's a lovely cross. A solid header as well from Simon Torada. Abadai looking very dangerous in that wide left position. Right onto the head of Simon Torada. He places it just too centrally. A man with a good cross on him. Back, Thomas Urian. Swung out. This is Felipe. Too much attention shown to him. Oh dear. Schalke are in trouble here as Dominik Drexler raises his arm to signal that he has I assume pulled a muscle. Look at him sprinting back. Thomas Reis can ill afford to lose yet another wide player. Already 2 men pulled off in this match. If I'm not mistaken, no more opportunities for Thomas Reis to make a change. Now you can see Dominik Drexler has stayed back here. I think he is going to play no meaningful further part in this game. Just when Schalke need all of their men at the pump, they may have to finish off this match, possibly with 11 men on the pitch, but only 10 men able to contribute. But a rough bit of luck for Thomas Reis. Still, Dominik Drexler is moving very gingerly. Started both of the league games and the cup before this afternoon. 7 goals in all competitions last season. Directly involved in goal about every 3rd game he was involved in. And he brings plenty of experience and talent to this Schalke side. Both coaches frantically barking out their orders.
They know this game is far from over. Just because we have 4 minutes until the 6 minutes until the 90 minutes are up. It doesn't say anything about what kind of time is going to be added on this afternoon. It's sometimes so difficult to predict with the new regulations in force. Schalke takes the free kick short. Nicely cut back, but just too heavy as Doncourt can bring this away. Oh, look at the energy at this late stage in the game shown by both of the players, not just Doncourt, but also Kotsuki. Really has been an energy-sapping encounter. Neither team resting for even just a few seconds to slow this game down. The only interruptions, the only chances for the players to catch their breath have been the drinks stoppages and the substitutions. Suzuja. Not the right ball. Still, they've got an attacking throw here. Maybe they can eat up a few seconds. Arsene Kaminski also looking absolutely drained. Sensible approach, you feel, for Braunschweig. Just keep hold of the ball. Keep it away from Schalke for a few moments. Slow this game down. Really has been a pretty even second half. Schalke dominating possession, but Braunschweig also coming up with chances of their own on the counter-attack. This one not on the counter-attack, but it almost falls very nicely to Felipe for just an opportunity to tuck home. Not too sure if there was going to be a flag there or not. Scream of frustration from Jens Hertel. That would have decided this tie, surely. You will see it again. Was Uja offside? Not too sure Felipe was, but Uja possibly in the build-up there. It's down it. The long throw. Simon Terodde, understandably the target. Dominic Drexler continues, to hobble around inside the penalty area. Probably the best place for him to be. Certainly not functioning at full capacity. Free kick here for Uvejan. Set up a goal on match day 2 against Kaiserslautern. Nicely floated in here. Braunschweig can't get it away. Oh, look at that. An offside decision against Schalke, which is going to rob them of precious seconds here. Not only the players down on the pitch will be exhausted come the full-time whistle, but the fans as well, as they really have been fully behind the team from the very start. Magnificent atmosphere here. What is looking ever more likely to be first points on the board for Eintracht Braunschweig this season. Who would have expected it? Against Schalke, of all teams, as we are in the final 60 seconds of regular time. Abadai not happy with what he believes to be a little bit of play acting here. It's a free kick. Nothing more, nothing less. It will be difficult for the Schalke players to accept this after getting a cup victory over Braunschweig just 10 days ago. They really have failed to make the impact required in this match to get 3 points for the league. In a case of regroup and refocus. Next games for Schalke up against Kiel, Wien Wiesbaden and Magdeburg. All teams you would, on paper at least, expect Schalke to get something out of. We could have easily said that about today's opponents. Braunschweig with 0 points on the board. Not over yet though. 7 minutes of time added on. Braunschweig's energy reserves really drained now. Always eager to find the positives for a team that ends up empty-handed at the end of a match. And Schalke did respond well to going behind. They did have a decent start to the match for the first 10 minutes or so. And that's really about it. They've huffed and puffed in the second half to no great result. Braunschweig have had the answers, and they've had, of course, a little bit of luck along the way as well. Think of Lasma striking the post. Uvian clipping the top of the crossbar. Just hope for the players' sake and Conor Rice's sake as well that the players that he has lost through injury today are going to be back sooner rather than later. Otherwise this will go down as a pretty miserable weekend for Schalke. Uja wants it fed into him, he gets it, can he finish? He can't. Marius Müller making himself big. Now it would have been game, set and match for Braunschweig. Anthony Uja is running on fumes now. He's unable to compose himself and get the better of the 30-year-old shot stopper. Schalke still in it. 4 minutes remain. Long ball approach now employed by Schalke. A change can be made here. The chance for Uja. A simple ball into his feet. Wayward defending from Schalke. And Uja tries to do precisely what Kaufmann did in the first half and slot it in at the near post. He finally gets to rest. No goal for Uja this afternoon, but an excellent shift, just like his fellow forward Johan Gómez before him. He rightly gets the appreciation of the fans. Defensive change, surprise, surprise, as Saulo Ikali comes on, centre-back, in to boost the defensive ranks of Braunschweig for the final 3 minutes of this match. Schalke came into this game having beaten Braunschweig in their last 6 encounters. It looks like that run is coming to an end. An opportunity for Braunschweig as well to level up the encounters that have taken place in Bundesliga.2. 3 wins apiece. That is, if they can hold on. Also going to see the end of Simon Terodde's run of scoring in consecutive games if he cannot come up with the goods in the remaining few minutes here. Big boost for Braunschweig this season. They are so close to being up and running on the scoreboard. 2 minutes left to play. Thomas Uvian. Schalke haven't given up hope yet. Everybody forward. Cleared, but only partially by Braunschweig. And that is skied by the youngster, Raogo. Not an easy one to take. Was under pressure to take it early too. From Torben Hoffmann. I'll be happy not to need to touch the ball again, as he's going to send this one long. As the clock ticks into the final 60 seconds, no doubt we'll have another minute or two added on. Here they come again, Braunschweig, not eager to take the ball into the corner. They want a second goal, and they go close to finding a nice position in the centre. Perhaps the corner flag would have been the better option. That's going to be a yellow for Braunschweig, surely. A second yellow for Brian Behrens as he goes off. Dismissal for the centre-back as he takes one for the team, so to say. Knew exactly what he was doing. And he has his marching orders. Well, was that the right call by Behrens? I guess we'll know in just a minute's time. Braunschweig down to 10 men. Well, even Muller is up for that free kick. But he's going to race back towards his goal now, as he could be in a spot of bother. Braunschweig with a chance to seal this. They go long. And very much wide. The 7 minutes of added time have already been played. Surely can't be much longer now before the final whistle comes and Braunschweig seal their first win of the season. Anywhere will do now as they scramble it